Good morning, welcome to a new week. It's Monday already. Where's the weekend gone? Breathing, breath work. This is the intention of today's session, just to focus on the breath. But let's start off with creating that space for the breath. I've just done a really energizing, successful Oxygen Advantage instructor training weekend on Saturday and Sunday with a private group of at Pure Dynamic Health here in London. We have osteopaths, massage therapists, Qigong masters, yoga teachers, special forces. So it was such a good workshop. So I'm energized to bring you some breath work this morning. So thanks for Pure Dynamic for hosting me as well. Let's start off with the spine. And of course, when you're working with osteopaths and massage therapists, biomechanics, key, and just that focus on the spine is a great start. Rotating the spine, just gently creating that movement through the spine, taking it easy, not forcing. Lengthening the spine as you do this, so just that gentle lift through the crown. What can help, as I think we've discussed in the Zoom sessions, is just having your tongue resting lightly on the roof of the mouth. Sort of very gently lifts the head up, balances the head on top of the spine. So we're going to do a little bit of movement, a little bit of energizing, get the energy flowing, and then we'll spend the 10 minutes at the end of the session just doing some seated breathing, some focusing on the breath, some breath awareness, and slowing the breath. Breathing now just gently in and out through the nose. Not trying to breathe in any particular way. Some of the key takeaways from the weekend when I was working on the instructor training is just how simple, even though we look in depth at sort of like biochemistry, biomechanics, the psychophysiological aspects of breath. What's the simplicity of the biochemistry of breath? And it's the fact, when you think about it, is that you can overbreathe. So if we're doing a movement like this, we're just letting the breath be natural. If we started breathing really hard, might be all right for 1 or 2 breaths, but actually if we did that for a long period of time, we'd be breathing more air than we need for what we are doing at this moment in time. So we're breathing beyond our metabolic needs. So if we're thinking about biochemistry, just breathe what you need. And quite often when we look at breath work, there's very much an action to breath work, which is great, but there is an action to breath work. But a lot of the time, what we want to focus on when we're thinking of functional breathing is just allowing that breath to be and just bringing awareness to the breath. So just letting that breath be soft, light, effortless. And then let's just gradually slow this down into water waves. You're adding that little bit of resistance. A little bit of resistance, slowing. And what you may find, without trying, again, is that you may find that the breath just slows a little bit. So just tune into that physical sensation of the air just as it flows softly in and out through the nose. The jaws relaxed, the tongue's just resting lightly on the roof of the mouth. Breathing in and out through the nose, nasal breathing. This is all nasal breathing is. You don't have to pull air into the nose. Remember all that space behind the nose. The air goes into the face, so breathe into the face. Very soft, very light, effortless. If we breathe really hard and fast now, we'd be breathing out more carbon dioxide than the body is making. And if you breathe out more carbon dioxide than the body is making, you're going to reduce oxygen delivery to the cells. Just Google the Bohr effect. So we need carbon dioxide to release oxygen from the blood into the cells, to unlock the oxygen. So that's the whole idea of breathing just what you need. Just like you would eat what you need or drink what you need. Hopefully. Maybe sometimes we eat a little bit more than we need, like we did on Saturday night with some pizza and tiramisu. Slow it down and just have a little shake out. Shake out the legs, shake out the wrists. Let's do some flexion and extension of the spine. So we go a little bit lower in the knees. We expand and we curl up into a little ball. And here we can breathe with the movement, or the movement can follow the breath. But again, we're not doing big breaths. We're not breathing more than we need. We're just expanding. Very soft, light, easy breath in through the nose. No sound. And then we're just curling up into a little ball. Just letting that breath out. And there are so many aspects to the biomechanics of movement of breath, and we could get so tied up in lots of different ideas and then posture and everything, and it can just really confuse us, and we're overthinking our biomechanics and our posture. So that's why I think it's nice just to work on the spine, because it's often neglected. But think about the importance of the spine. Obviously, you've got the central nervous system, peripheral nerves coming from the spine. So that affects how our neurons, our sensory neurons, our motor neurons are affected. And also the rib cage, the diaphragm is attached to the spine, the shoulders, the pelvis, everything comes from the spine. So think of the spine as your central rotational axis. And of course in Qigong, lots of emphasis is placed on the spine. And you can think of this as spinal cord breathing. So you're using the spine to breathe. Soft breath in, soft breath out. Let's do 2 more. And then take a rest. Have a little shake. Just a gentle shake. We'll have a good shake at the end of our little bit of movement. Dog wags the tail, feet shoulder width apart, so you've got a nice solid base on the ground. Feel really strong and supported on the ground without forcing anything, without gripping through the toes. Maybe give the toes a little bit of a wiggle. Nice and supported on the base. Sliding that pelvis side to side. And then just freeing up the spine so we get that wave effect. And here just breathing however you want, however is natural breathing. So just with that awareness of the air, just as it flows in and out through the nose, not trying to breathe in any particular way. You might find that the breath is caught a little bit with this movement here through the thoracic spine and the chest. That's fine, obviously, as long as it doesn't hurt or feel uncomfortable. But I remember the first time I did this, it was very stiff in the neck, the head wasn't moving, and I was getting very, quite stiff here in the thoracic spine and in the front of the chest. So it's getting that rib cage. Think of the elasticity of the rib cage here, the ribs moving. I'm still seeing some of you on Zoom need to practice this one. We're getting a little bit of tilting the spine that way, then tilting the spine that way. It's not that, it's shifting the pelvis side to side and then freeing up the spine. Look at the difference. If I do this, all I'm doing is tilting my spine that way. So I'm keeping the spine straight and I'm doing that. And I'm keeping my spine straight and I'm keeping it straight that way. I'm shifting side to side, keeping that pelvis parallel. And then I'm freeing up the spine on top of that. Good. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Let's have a good shake. So start off gently. Use the legs, so remember the legs are pumps as well. And if we can make it a little bit more vigorous, you can free up the shoulders, you can free up the base of the skull, you can tap your heels into the ground. See if you can let the shoulders go. So I'm not keeping those shoulders tight, let those shoulders just go up and down. And here we can take a cleansing and clearing breath. So this is where we deliberately take a fuller breath in. Maybe have a little top up and let go. And that let go can be through the mouth. You can have sound with that. It can be like a nice sigh, like breathing in. It's a lovely morning. So whatever feels right, whatever feels good with that cleansing and clearing, resetting. Good, I'll shake, 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 shake. Really free up the shoulders. It's so usual for the shoulders just to stay tight here, so let those shoulders go. Let's do one more cleansing and clearing. Lovely morning, getting yourself ready for the week, getting everything set up. Nice full breath in. It's great, great, good, good, good. Feel good, feel good, feel good. Slow it down, slow it down. Open up the palms. Just see what energy you have created there. Feel the tingling sensations running through the body. And then you might feel you just want to take a slightly fuller breath. And then let that breath go calmly. Letting the breath slow. Feeling the heart rate lower. Let's do a few tigers. So a little bit of a good tension there through the fingers that engages the chain of muscles and fascia through the arms into the back. Just make sure you're maybe a little bit wider there on the feet. You've got your feet slightly turned out. And then we're just going to go lower down a little bit. And it's not about doing an exercise, it's just doing a very easy flow of a movement. And the breath is just so easy. Not trying to breathe in a particular way. You may breathe with the movement, but just let that breath be light, soft, easy, and in and out through the nose. If you start to get out of breath, if you feel you need a reset breath, i.e. stop for a second. So I want that breath just to stay very calm, relaxed. A wave of movement, a wave of breathing. We're going to do 2 more. And then going down and just resting on your thighs. Not putting loads of weight on the thighs, just resting on the thighs. Use the glutes, use the hips to stabilize and support as well. Freeing up the shoulders, so just make sure there's no tightness here in the top of the shoulders. And then just breathing soft and light. And feel the breath. I'm going to turn around, you can obviously keep facing forwards. I want you to breathe soft and light into that back. So don't worry if you're a little bit rounded in the back there, that's absolutely fine. We're not trying to create a straight back or anything. A little bit of space. Breathe into the space there, into the back. And feel micro movements, tiny movements in that space. If you want to take slightly fuller breaths just to bring awareness to that space, that's absolutely fine. But what we don't want to be doing again is over breathing. So see how light you can breathe, but if you can breathe deep into the back. If this starts to get hard work or too hard a work, obviously just come up to standing. It's not an exercise. We shouldn't be out of breath. It's not how long can I hold this position. Because when you do a how long can I hold this position, you tend to tense everything up and hold the breath. So we want to just breathe light and slow into the back of the body. And even if you breathe just a very small amount of air, see if you can just feel that space. It's almost like you're just gently blowing a balloon up in that space. That was a nice analogy that Ben used at the weekend. But we're not blowing a big balloon up, it's just a very small balloon that you can feel. You may find one side is easier than the other side. Breathing into the back. If you need to move a little bit, watch that we're not tightening the shoulders, so there's some freedom in the shoulders. This is really good because it's strengthening the legs as well. If the breath starts to change dramatically, stop. And really emphasize this is not about holding a position just for the sake of holding a position. If the breathing changes drastically, you stop. Breathing into the back. And very slowly just straightening the legs. And let's just do pulling down, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then just interlocking your fingers, resting, hands, bringing the feet together. Just giving yourself a moment just for a little bit of bamboo in the wind, so closing your eyes. Allowing that gentle rock and sway of the body. Tuning into the physical sensation of the air just as it flows again in and out through the nose. And just noticing how little air you need to breathe to stay calm, relaxed, functioning. And then taking a calm, full breath in through the nose. Again, it's like a morning wake-up sigh, breathing in, opening up the eyes, letting that breath go, giving yourself a little bit of a brush down. And then just in your own time, just taking a seat. You can sit on the floor, you can sit on a chair. We'll just do 5 minutes of just slowing the breath down a little bit. And it was really good to do that summary yesterday with the group, particularly with a group of such varied skill sets and different, like Qigong, yoga, Tai Chi, osteopathy, massage therapy. And it was like, how do we really summarize the key points of unlocking the power of the breath? Biochemistry, breathe what you need, so then that we don't disturb the oxygen CO2 balance. You can feel, if we sat here for the next 10 minutes going, you'd feel tired because we've used the breathing muscles. You'd feel lightheaded because you are reducing oxygen to the brain. So getting more oxygen into the body doesn't necessarily getting more oxygen to the cells. And that's key, that's the foundation. And a lot of breathing techniques don't really focus on that. So remember that in terms of the foundation. When we're talking about biomechanics, get that spine working, keep that spine healthy. And then when we're talking, or when we're looking at the aspect which is so broad, the psychophysiological aspect, think of what we're doing when we're doing a cleansing and clearing. It can be very much like a, that's lovely. So it's a very positive emotion that you have towards that cleansing and clearing and reset. Or you might notice you're in a stress situation. It's like, this is terrible, I'm really stressed. You're doing a similar type of reset, but it's a different emotional connection or different thought to it. So the simplest way, again, of thinking about the psychophysiological aspect of breath is that it's biodirectional, that we're not only just sending the signal from the brain or from the mind to the body, you can send the signal from the body to the mind. So we can change the breath to tell the mind everything is good, everything is safe, and we can do that by simply breathing light, i.e. not over breathing, so we keep that really good quality oxygenation of the cells. We breathe slow, so we slow the breath, because if we're stressed, the breath tends to quicken. So we slow the breath, and then we breathe deep in the true sense of the word. Now, this is really key, the way I'm really highlighting, and I think this is so important, again, from a semantic point of view, from a coaching and cueing point of view, is a deep breath doesn't have to be, or isn't, a big breath. They are different. So as we were breathing into our back, into that, in that posture, you were taking it deep into the location of the body, but we weren't taking massive big breaths in. So when you're breathing light, slow and deep, the depth is the location. So we're just going to have a little practice of that together, having that in mind. So I'd like you to have your feet in contact with the ground. So you're nice and supported on the surface that you're sitting. If you're sitting on the floor, you're nice and stable on the floor. Supported on the chair, so solid and supported on the chair. It's always good to have a solid base. Again, this is the bidirectional feedback to the brain. If you're supported on the chair and you're stable, you've got a stable base, the brain, the mind goes, yeah, I'm safe. If we're wobbling all over the place, subconsciously, we're in that sort of like sympathetic drive, fight or flight. So this is important in terms of the setup of the breathing practice. And then strong spine, we've just done all that work on the spine, nice strong spine, but without being rigid. Relaxing into the face, because if we relax into the face, if you tense the face, that tells the brain, I'm stressed. If we relax the face, that tells the mind, yeah, it's all good, all good. So relax into the brow, soften into the eyes, soften into the cheekbones, tongue resting lightly on the roof of the mouth. That helps to open up that space, so you can just relax the jaw, and then you can just focus on that very soft, light, effortless breath in and out through the nose. Tuning into that physical sensation, the slightly cooler air as you're breathing in. So just allowing the breath to be natural at the minute. So letting the body breathe as it needs to breathe. And then I want you to consciously slow the breath. So you might be currently breathing in a rhythm of 3-3. So you might just be counting to yourself 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. I'm not suggesting that that's the number you work with. Just notice what your current rhythm is. Keep it rhythmical, but just lengthen the inhale a little bit, lengthen the exhale a little bit. So consciously lengthening the inhale and the exhale. And you will feel, if we slow the breath, each breath you are taking a slightly greater volume of air. But what we want to make sure is we still keep it light, so we don't overbreathe. So once you feel that you're breathing a slightly greater volume of air, and you're breathing it deep so you can breathe into the back, start to turn the volume down a little bit. But still keep that connection with the depth of the breath. It's light, slow, deep breathing. And I'd like you to follow 3 more breaths. Keeping it very light, slow, deep. And then just when you've done that, we can then do that little reset breath so you can take a slightly fuller breath. We're keeping it calm. Expand the body. If you've got your eyes closed, you can just open your eyes at the top of that breath. You can let that breath go. Have a little shake out, a little twist and a little bit of a rotation. Excellent. Hopefully that has set you up for the week. You only need to do a little bit. I think this is really key, is you don't have to go and sit and do 20 minutes breath work. It's great if you can do. You don't need the apps, you don't need music, you don't need rhythm to listen to, something to watch or someone to guide you. Take the time just to go and sit for a couple of minutes, do a little bit of spine rotation, spine stretch, couple of minutes, light, slow, deep breathing. You will really find that makes a big difference if you do that just 2 or 3 times a day, just taking the time to focus on the breath. Thanks for joining. It's September, so just a reminder of the exciting events that we've got coming up in September. We've got an Oxygen Advantage instructor training retreat coming up on the 24th to the 29th. I can see Elaine actually is on Instagram watching. Elaine is going to be coaching on that retreat as well. So we do have 1 room left on that retreat. So if anybody's interested in coming along to that, we'll do Oxygen Advantage training. So you train, you get certified as an Oxygen Advantage coach. You get a lot of online stuff as well. But it's also a great retreat. We'll be doing some trail running, trail walking, Qigong. There's a lovely pool, beautiful food. If you don't want to do a full Oxygen Advantage training, the week after that, we're on the Costa Brava. So we're going to stay there. And you can join us for 4 days, 3 days on the Costa Brava for a bit of walking and trail running. So if you're interested in joining any of the retreats and adventures in this month, it's all coming up, just get back to me and let me know and we'll get that sorted out. And if you want more information, just want to book a chat with me just to find out a little bit more about the trainings, then please feel free to book in a chat. Just let me know and we can have half an hour. Just see if it's right for you. It might not be right for you. Have a great rest of your day and I will see you on Wednesday where we'll do a few more tigers. Let's play around with a tiger on Wednesday. Have a good day. Thanks a lot. Bye.